The shrill screams carried by the wind managed to infiltrate the music streamed to Tony's ears from his phone. He paused, removing his left earphone to listen. Yes, there. Much clearer and more high-pitched now above the squeezed sounds he felt vibrate into his closed hand. He smiled to himself as the excitement grew within him. He had been looking forward to this for such a long time. He returned the earphone and thrust his hand deeply into his pocket. His fingers began to fumble the coins for the 5th time. He ran them through his fingers one at a time, like an umpire counting off the balls in an over. There were definitely 8, or was it 9? He checked again. Once satisfied, he slipped his hand into his back pocket and removed the folded notes, 2 5s and 4 10s. He returned them and tapped the outer pocket, still able to feel the outline. He smiled to himself, partly in pleasure. He felt no guilt. If his dad ever discovered that he had stolen money from anywhere, let alone the house, there would be hell to pay. But he was smarter than that. He had learned to be patient, to choose the correct moment. He only took money when he considered it to be safe, the odd coin here and there, but more on the occasions when his parents returned from a night out. It was easy to get up early and slip the odd $5 away when it was left, crunched in the bowl in the kitchen along with the car keys and the odd tissue. There had been a couple of times when his father, not suffering from a slight hangover, had questioned whether his mother had taken any money. But that was as close to suspicion as it got. Nothing was ever pursued. His father simply responded with a quick raise of the shoulders and a quizzical look. It was then Tony would ask for £1 for this or that, and predictably he would succeed. A double victory. The stray fare was the main reason for the deception. Well, you couldn't go to a fair with only a few quid. Some rides alone were more than his weekly spending money. The grass was still damp from the afternoon's rain. Tony's shoes were already soaked through from the kickabout earlier. When he removed his earphones, he could hear and see the fair. The loud music collided with more loud music, each ride operator trying to outdo the other. The myriad flashing coloured lights along with the chorus of intermittent screams from excited girls produced a siren's welcome against the darkening day. Tony's heart fluttered with excitement. He replaced his earphones and stared, the noise from the fair now drowned out by the shrill music bombarding his ears. "Tony!" Colin's voice sounded like a football fan calling his favourite team, emphasising the last vowel for what seemed like an age. On the 4th call, Tony heard it and turned. Colin and Mark ran towards him, arms outstretched like aeroplanes coming in for attack. "You're bloody late. You said the war memorial." Tony looked at his phone. "Half an hour ago." He flicked off the music. "And you're bloody deaf. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Bandits from 7 o'clock. Tony removed his earphones and wrapped them round his mobile. "Funny, I don't think. Mark couldn't get money from his dad until he'd washed up and taken the dog out. It's like the Gestapo at his house. Any road, we're here with money to burn and there's fun to be had. Dodgems, waltzer, and then maybe we should try the killer ride. Too extreme." He emphasised the word and pulled a terrified expression as if it were totally evil. The boys laughed more at the gurned face than the thought of the ride as they began to run towards the fair. It was busy. They headed straight for the waltzer, the ride's flashing lights, blasting music and screaming girls providing an aphrodisiac to the 3 lads. It was better than they had expected and they rode it twice. "Bloody hell, it's fast. I've got a feeling I might be losing me teeth sometime tonight," screamed Tony, struggling to make himself heard. The cars were spun eagerly by the staff who always seemed to pick the ones containing the prettiest girls. "Some fighter pilot, you'll make your tart. You can go on your own after the next ride. These are my best jeans and I don't want you pebble dashing them with mashed up beans on toast." They laughed even more. Tony was right. At about 10 o'clock, after a final fling on a carousel, he bought a hot dog, drank the complimentary sweet fizzy drink, and within minutes threw up into a